but I think so. And he was playing with many bands of US jazzmen, musicians. Then he started to connect his way of playing that was sometimes Miles Davis inspired, and then he released his first record in 1967 called Swinging Macedonia. Well, this is, I give you here the link. This is the title of the record, and it was out in 67. And on YouTube, unfortunately, this is a record it's very hard to find. You can buy for this vinyl for something like 700 or 800 euros now, because it's out of print. But the Enja company put it on CDs in the 80s. On YouTube, anyway, you can find it. And I think that a good song to understand what I mean is this one. Starts at 2036 of the file of the record. You have the pointers in the YouTube page. You can go directly to the point. And I love this song. Let's listen to 20-30 seconds of this song, just to understand what I'm talking about. After the spot.
La mia bolletta del telefono è altissima, deve esserci un errore. Ah no? Cosa che?
As you can listen to this, this is a popular traditional song that was arranged by Duško Gojković, and his work is incredible because you can feel all the rhythms and the melody, how he treats the melody, and I think this is he was one of the greatest in this field to connect the music, improvisation, and jazz music, and the traditional Balkan music. On the other side, an incredible musician who was a great pioneer in the big band music and in the trumpet. He was an American guy. His name is Don Ellis. Don Ellis. And Don has this incredible big band, and he was using a lot of outside playing and out of well-tempered system melodies and arrangements. So sometimes you can feel the trumpets, they play for quarter tones. And at a certain point in the early 70s, he had in the band a Bulgarian piano player. His name is Mirko Liviu. This is the name. Who was very important in developing new music for the band. One of the songs that I really love, and this could be very interesting for our purposes to explain how it works, is this Bulgarian bugle. Is from a record by Don Ellis called Tears of Joy that was recorded on live, I think at Village Vanguard in 71. And this is the song, the link to the song. Let's listen to some seconds of this, if you want. They're incredible. Okay. Okay, let's go back to our discussion. Do you like it? It's not bad. The band is incredible. The trombone player is not very, how to say, comfortable with this rhythm. You can feel that. Oh, this is what we were speaking before about the rhythm. You can hear that the trombone player is not faking it, but it's trying to stay in. But the clarinet is incredible what it does. It's perfectly in, and also Don Ellis with the trumpet. So, because they were used to deal with odd rhythms, but also here what I like, that probably this was brought in by the piano player, was Bulgarian, is is that they are able to create a sort of jazz standards for big band, starting from popular music, Balkan music. So, do you have any questions about that? Any curiosity? Anything that I could say about it? Oh, who's the clarinet player? Right. Let me check if I'm able to find out. Just a second. I took note here. Sam Falzoni. I had to ask to Gianni if it's one of his parents. Tell me, Maud.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Early on in the last session, you were saying that in the Balkan jazz, like the focus was on the, I didn't really hear what you said, but it was something like the weight of the rhythm. Or
yeah. I would say that yes, it was just to be to simplify the thing, just to thinking about the melody here. Usually, they are the articulation of the melody in this kind of they are always around the arpeggios, and with embellishment is right in English. Okay, so they work around the arpeggios. On the other side, in the Arab music or something like that, how can we call it, Middle East, the melody are more complex in the horizontal approach. You know what I mean? So we are more vertical, and then they are more horizontal. This I mean, which I mean, I also play sometimes with musicians from Bangladesh and from India. The horizontal approach is, in a way, to me, I don't know why, probably something personal, is more complex to keep in track. You know what I mean? because it's very long. They need hundreds of measures to develop completely, you know, and you like around. I remember when I played for the first time with Sajed Ulalam, is from Bangladesh, and he plays sitar very well. And I remember they say, "Okay, Enrico, just play." And I say, "Yes, but how long? What I have to do? How can I understand when you will end it?" And then I after a couple of rehearsals, I started to understand how it was working. And if you keep your antennas very, very, very connected, the tabla player will give you all the information, where to go, how long to stay. So this is I know the problem mode is that mode is right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. The problem is that we have just a few minutes to talk about things that took centuries to develop. So, you know, it's I try to be consistent, but really, if you want to, we can talk about that for what I know, because I'm not really a great expert of anything, but but about the rhythm and about this kind of things, I studied a lot about that, because I really love, and I love it, and really I need to understand for myself, because when I was very young, my question to myself was always, why, if I play this, it doesn't work, and if I listen to BB King, it works. So where's the secret? And this is the main thing I studied in my life: how to be consistent and to create, to be expressive all the time when I play anything I play. And sometimes I try to play music that is not in my strings, and in the end, I always declined, because it's nice to be, especially when you were young, to experience almost everything in music, and I think you have to do it. But then you have to deal, especially with the things you feel you have a natural affinity. Yes, I would say that.
Okay.
Oh, there are some other questions. It's not Bulgarian. No, not the clarinet is not Bulgarian. It's the name is typical Italian name. In Italy, we have a great trumpet player. His name is Giovanni Falzone, and probably told me this was something like an ankle or something like that, but I don't know. So, any other thing? Any other curiosity? Can I go on? Okay. Then, an incredible musician I had the chance to meet several times in my life is this guy, Brad Shepik, and he has. Oh, you can find his name written in 3 or 4 different ways. Sometimes it's Schöpach, sometimes it's Shapi, sometimes I don't know why. He always changed the spelling of his name. But this record is a record that I love, and he played saz, he plays guitar, he plays fretless guitar, and in particular, oh yes, no, it's not faking. Oh, the trombone was not I would say consistent. I mean, in the Don Ellis track. So this is from the record of Brad Shepik, The Well. Quick. Well, and this is the song that for me, it's very, very, he is able to put together many different flavors. I love a lot how he works. Then we will speak about him again for another project participated. So let's listen to this.
La Somalia vive la peggiore siccità degli ultimi 40 anni.
I'm sorry, I think you didn't send the link to everybody.
Oh, maybe I made it wrong. Let me check. It's possible. Because I don't know why the I go back. Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry, my fault. Yeah. Okay. I hope you will go back to this. Okay. Do you like it? Not bad, huh? And he is the guy who plays in a band led by one of the most important trumpet player, living trumpet player. His name is Dave Douglas. He is the guy who played trumpet in the Masada, the band of John Zorn. And they made many different records with this band who is called Tiny Bell Trio. And they are they are wonderful. This is with Brad Shepik, and this is another one. I think I have all the records because I really love their music. And Dave Douglas is able to put together this trio. It's mainly a trio in which he I don't know the word. He put together the best way to relate jazz improvisation with composition and the Middle East flavor. So this record is something, okay. Tiny Bell Trio, Dave Douglas taking sides, and This is one of my favorite approaching songs. Is it okay to everybody? Right. This time I made it right. Incredible. It's very complex music. You can hear with a lot of changes, structures, compositions. If you love Masada Zorn, you probably are able to recognize some of the way of constructing music. Okay. Okay. Then we have another way of interconnecting music, and this is something I discovered just this morning. I didn't know this band, and a friend of mine who is a Sardinian trumpet player sent me this link, and when I saw this, I couldn't believe my ears. So they do it. They are a typical brass band, Balkan brass band, but they play the most incredible chords. It's and everything is so melt. So this is not a record. This is just something they play in a little square. So this is the band. I don't know if you, and the song, and this is the link. And I hope you like it. I was laughing all the time because it is incredible how much energy and how everything is organized. Please concentrate yourself on not on just on the soloist, the trumpet player, who is very good, which is very good, but on the ensemble. While they play with the ensemble, the chords with all the fourths and incredible. So let's give a listen, a couple of minutes about that. And this is a video, but we will go back in 2 minutes.
Sì, deve essere un gusto. Perché devi rinunciare a qualcosa quando puoi avere tutto? 95% di frutta bio senza zuccheri aggiunti. Natura, così.
There's a combination, absurd combination, wonderful. When they go on the bridge. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. So, what's your feeling about that? Don't be shy.
It's weird. But it's good.
Sorry?
It's weird, but it's good.
It's weird. It's crazy, completely crazy, because it, you know, I listened to that 3 times in a row, and I was trying to understand where they were going, you know, and the trumpet player, just to, it was like if we, exactly, it's not the feeling out jazz, right? But the polyrhythms, as Gabriel says, they're incredible because they are playing something that it's completely absurd. Oh, the feeling of jazz is mainly, as I said, in the voicing of the chords. They are, you know, because they are overimposed as fourth sometimes, like they play these chords at a certain point, which is not something you find usually in the Balkan music, you know. This would be like this anyway, maybe, but not with this voicing, which is something. Oh, sorry, this. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. This one. They are fourth. Yeah. Oh, no, the pronunciation has nothing to do. Murathan is right, your pronunciation? Oh, yes, the other way. This could be like this. Let me check, like this. Which is the 9th. But this is really weird. Oh, it's something that Herbie Hancock does all the time. McCoy Tyner, that kind of comping, you know. And when I heard it for the first time, I was concentrating on the trumpet, and I was listening to the loudspeakers of my computer. So it was like, okay, now they move. Okay, the bridge is interesting. Then I listened to with equipment, the stereo equipment, and I was like, oh shit, what they're doing? Because it was like something I wasn't prepared, you know, because you see also you know, how they present themselves. You are not expecting something like that. About the pronunciation, yes. Murathan is, I don't know the pronunciation if it's right, sorry if I'm making wrong, points out that, oh, thank you, that is not jazz. Yes, what he does with the trumpet is exactly the right thing to do in that particular style of music. But it's the connection that impressed me. I'm not saying that this is something incredible, never heard before. I was just surprised to hear in a brass band, a Balkan brass band, voicing like that. I was just, and that's something that comes from jazz. I don't know, maybe in a few years, maybe there will be another developing, yes, that evolution, right, that goes in that direction, that brings us in other places. Because I don't know, Murathan, if you were present at the beginning of my first presentation lecture, and I was saying that for me, one of the main things is that the complexity of the languages and the interactions of the languages is the main characteristic of jazz. So for me, it's more easy to say maybe what is not jazz of what is jazz. For example, now maybe I will surprise you, and maybe you could think that I'm just a provocateur, but it's not. Maybe it will be occasion for a next webinar, maybe. I think that Pantera or Sepultura, two of my favorite metal band, are more jazz than most of the music I listen to the jam session, usually listening to All the Things You Are for the 1000th time. You know, because it's how not at all was, sorry. Because, for example, what they did in the album Roots, and Sepultura did in the album Roots, it is for me something that, thank you. It's something that I really love, because they put together the music of a thrash metal band from Brazil with the traditional music of the people of the Indios, something that was there long before European invaded the South America. Okay, and they put together this music, and at a certain point there's a song which is called Itzari, in which they play, the Sepultura made a lot of miles through the Mato Grosso to meet this Indios Savante, and they recorded together with acoustic instruments, and they arrived through the forest, and they have canoeing, and they arrived to this village, and they made a recording together with the Indios Savante. And you can hear that the music of Sepultura, in fact, is very, very similar to the music of Indios Savante. So sometimes we have too many frames. This is what I feel. As musicians, sometimes we live inside frames, because this is jazz, this is not jazz, this is blues, this is progressive rock, this is classical music, this is Baroque. And if this could be interesting or needed to talk between insiders, we need sometimes to be consistent and not risk to give the idea that art lives inside frames. I think that frames were created by, yes. What makes you say that? Yes. And the approach. Sometimes the approach, it's what I feel, for me, what I can say, I'm, I'm nobody. I'm not Duke Ellington, I'm not Miles Davis, I'm just a guitar player who try to explain what happens and try to play his music. But what I feel is that sometimes I meet so many people so proud to be jazz musicians, and they play the same old shit since 50 years, and they will not evolve in any way. So, and studying this history, the only thing I could say is that when Louis Armstrong made his first recordings in 26, 27, people that was listening to ragtime was used to say, oh, but this is not jazz. And Jelly Roll Morton was the same. Then when Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie were doing their own shit in the 40s, and people was listening to the swing and the swing era bands and stuff like that, and they say, oh, but this is not jazz, this is crazy music. And that was the bebop. And today, there's around an idiot that could say that Charlie Parker or Dizzy Gillespie are not jazz? And then when Miles Davis came out, it was the same. And then when Ornette Coleman came out, it was the same. Every time there was people that was living that time that was saying, this is not jazz. The jazz was something that was done until here. So we can talk about classical periods, and we can talk, and I say between insiders, we can say this is bebop, this is art bop, this is swing, this is Dixieland, this is jazz rock, everything you want, but always the music is always moving. If it's not moving, it's simple, it's dead. If he's alive, he has to move. Otherwise, he's dead or not living, which is not the same thing. But, I'm, in fact, Murathan, I am a provocateur sometimes. Maybe funny show, maybe so me. I have a t-shirt that I usually wear at the jazz festival, and it's called Jazz is Dead. And they look at me and say, oh, so, and I say, oh, yes, I like to dissect cadavers. So I think that people also has no sense of humor. And this is another big trouble with art. But for me, this is what I try to do with my music. And this is what I try to do as a teacher, as a musicologist and writing. And I like to find a way to, okay, we always, in the end, then if you have some questions, I leave. But there's one thing that for me is important, probably the most important thing for me. Do you know Richard Feynman? Who was Richard Feynman? Richard Feynman was one of the most important physicists of the last century. Probably probably, but I'm not sure, after Albert Einstein, the most important one. And Richard Feynman, who wrote a series of wonderful books, Are You Kidding, Mr. Feynman, and many others. I really suggest you to get his book, and also his lectures that are available on the Library of Congress website. He was saying something. He said, I think that the mission of people who know something is to invite to curiosity, invite people to be curious. Knowledge comes after. And this is for me as the main rule that I try to put on the table when I try to teach or to give lectures, especially to not trained people, because I think that it's more important to create curiosity in people than transfer information, give information. The information comes after, the knowledge comes after, before you have to be curious. And most of the people is not more curious, and they like to live in their comfort zones, and so living in the comfort zone don't give you the chance to know new things, because you are connected with your small world and with your knowledge, and this gives you a lot of strength. But what there is more beautiful than know new things? I'm an old guy now. I'm 60 almost, but I'm not able to stop myself to search new things, and the sense of this kind of things and music. So if I think that if Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart thought that all the music was already written, okay. Oh, thank you, Maud. It was great. Thank you. Bye-bye. So if you have any questions, guys, ladies, girls, and beautiful people, I'm here, and I hope to be able to. Please, Murathan.
Thank you, Enrico.
Oh, thank you.
For sharing your time and knowledge with us. And I think you shared very important things, very important remarks. But some things I'm not sure. In case of, I still believe that music is a universal language.
I'm dying. You kill me. You just kill me.
Yes, because I think this is the most characteristic feature of music. Let me explain.
Yes.
When we say that like different elements come together and they have challenges to communicate each other, this doesn't erase the fact that the communication exists, and within this unity of the music ecosystem, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we do have challenges, and there are very endemic, very small, important details. Of course, when we say universal, we don't need extraterrestrial creatures that are trying to communicate with Earth. The same as when we say lingua franca, we don't mean the French language. We say the global tool to communicate each other, and somehow we all here speak English, try to speak English to communicate each other. but we are not perfect. We are not expert. So I think the existence of the challenges and the specific things, this doesn't make music as a non-universal thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can I try to answer to this?
Yes, please.
Okay. I think that you point out a very important question, because maybe we should define what is a language.
Yeah.
So Laurie Anderson was saying language is a virus. So maybe we have, but if we read McLuhan, for example, he had some opinion about that, very specific. But I think that what is universal in music, and this is no way to contrast this idea, are the elements of the music itself. I mean, the music is something that is an organization of noise that can be projected through the atmosphere, thanks to the atmosphere being existence. Now, please let me do this joke. On Mars, we have no music because we have no atmosphere. Okay. Okay, I'm an idiot. Okay, I'm an idiot. Okay, but anyway, this is a way, an inside joke to understand what they really mean. I know we need certain circumstances that have to be present because the music can reveal herself. You know what I mean? But what it comes out between the connection of many different things and is the music, this is a product of notes, overimposition of notes that become chords, sequence of notes that become melodies, displacements of the notes that becomes rhythms. But these elements are not universal. Why? And it's very easy to explain. There's this old story, didgeridoo, probably what it is. Okay, so you have this Aboriginal Australian instrument, ritual and connection with the spirits, and so there is this master of didgeridoo coming from Australia. So they bring him in Europe and they bring him to listen to the Beethoven Fifths. And they say, okay, man, this is the greatest architecture in music that can be created. So the thing starts, the orchestra starts playing, and in fact, this is incredible. Can you imagine? Ludwig created 35 minutes of parababam, just with, small variation. 35 minutes of this stuff, incredible. So the composition ends, and they look at the band and they say, okay, maestro, now you understand, right? This is the music. What you do is And then you say, oh, I have to say, I appreciate the skills, I appreciate the structures, but I can't feel any emotion. I can't feel any connection with the ritual thing. So this is enough to me to say that not even Beethoven is universal. Otherwise, it should be understood by everybody in the world. Not with from any area, from any age, from any I don't know. You know, this is enough to me to say that what is universal, it's the main elements. Oh yes, elements. Sorry, Fanny. I told you. You have to shoot me. So the elements that the music is constituted of are the universal thing. But we can play, it's like playing with Lego. Okay, the Lego is universal, but we can do things that are absolutely not universal and not understandable, because I can see a wonderful starship, you know, and you look at, oh, it's just a bunch of, you know, bricks put together, you know, wrong color, wrong shape. Okay, I think, but anyway, we can talk about this anytime you want, and also play together maybe one day. It would be great.
Please, whenever you are in Belgium, please let me know.
Thank you very much. I want to thank everybody here. I saw that Angelo at a certain point came in. Oh, ciao Angelo. So I'm very, very happy he was able to reach our webinar.
Yeah.
I hope it was interesting.
Thank you very much, Enrico, and thanks for the great playlist. And we are going to pass it on to
yes, I send immediately
everyone. And it's great music to listen. So thanks for that, and thank you for the participants. Some of you left already, but thanks for the one of among you who followed us during the whole week. It was great to have you, and we will have another session of Medinea On Air in February. So stay tuned. We'll publish the program at the beginning of next year. Thanks again, Enrico. And
thank you, Fanny.
I
hope to see you in Nuoro.
I hope so. I hope to come back.
Yes, we will wait for you. This year it will be great. We'll start a little bit later, but yes, everybody there to make some music together.
Yeah.
Right, Angelo? Ok. Ciao a tutti, grazie mille. Saluti dall'Italia.
Grazie a te.
Ciao, ciao.